Alright, welcome and thank you for joining us on this week's Payday Crimecast. Today on the show we'll be discussing the mixed bag of Payday content released this week. So we have the new Heist DLC, The Diamond, and the Payday series' very first female player character, Clover. And of course we'll be rambling on about plenty of other things too. My name is Edward, I'm one of your hosts today. I'm also known by my online handle, Edislido. I make mods for a variety of different games. And also joining us on today's show, we have Lockie, also known as Ostro. He's our music and audio guy, and also a really cool person. I'm not just reading this off the paper. Hi, Lockie, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. I couldn't resist doing that, yeah. Hello, I made the themes and stuff, and this whole thing is my idea. Move on.
He's also a very modest person. Okay, we also have Liam, also known as Malicious Carrot. He's a YouTuber with some interesting editing chops, to say the least. You've probably watched one of his many Payday videos without even knowing it, and I'd like him to name 10 things that aren't the thermal drill.
I love the way you pronounce my name, Liam. I think that's fantastic.
Well, I'm glad you appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so far you haven't said the thermal drill.
Well, I thought that the answer was obvious. I don't want to... People don't like to be reminded of the thermal drill anyway. It tends to trigger a lot of people.
That's true. Well, we all have to work on our Bane impression.
Well, to do an impression of Bane, all you really have to do is, well, like I said, say the thermal drill, and then just get really, really confused whenever someone cooks something wrong. It's like he's just making himself breakfast, and then he puts, like, I don't know, he puts in the milk inside of his morning juice instead of his cereal, and then he just gets really confused as to why it blows up in his face.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Come on, guys, I told you to be careful.
The internet be careful with that stuff.
The internet
descriptions, yeah. He has to look up how to
Fuck
make
him.
cereal.
He needed that cook.
How to put milk in bowl.
Yeah, I can just see his glass of milk exploding because he did it wrong. And of course, lastly but not least, we have Remy, also known as Morgrim, our gameplay consultant. How you doing, Remy?
Hello. I'm good. Hi.
Thank you for that.
I play Payday. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yes, I'm
someone
sure
did.
you'll go into it quite a bit afterwards in this episode.
Probably.
Okay, guys. So this is episode 1. I mean, there was a previous episode that we called episode 0, and that one didn't go over very well, not only because we had some technical difficulties, but it's a new show. I mean, we got to build up our audience somehow.
And there was another factor, I think. The fact that the Diamond was announced like 6 hours later, and we got pushed off the front page of Reddit, so...
That's true.
Was it 6 hours later? Was it?
Was it? Was it like 8 hours or something? No.
I don't know.
It was it's always the middle of the night here, so... So I just wake up and stuff's announced.
Yes, we were discussing the time zone differences yesterday, and we were just confusing ourselves relentlessly.
Which is why this is called number 1, and it doesn't have a date on it, because... Yeah.
Fair enough, it's episode 1, and that's fine.
Because reasons.
Because it's the 21st here and it's the 20th for everyone else.
So I thought we might want to talk about a little bit about the format of the show and where we're planning on going with it. So of course, Payday news is, well, it can be a little scarce from week to week. Overkill doesn't always give us the most information because I'm sure they're hard at work, but we do scour things like developer Twitter accounts. If we find whatever we can find. We also might dig up some stuff from the community to present during the show. But what do you guys think we're going to have in future episodes? I mean, other than just Payday news, I think we're thinking about possibly getting some developers on here to join us, kind of talk about the development of the game, and possibly some of the actors, the voice actors, and some of the live-action actors that are featured in Payday. Doesn't that sound good, you guys?
That sounds cool.
Sounds shiny.
Sounds good. Sounds like a good thing to happen. Yeah.
Okay, so let's not go on too long with the small talk. Maybe we can get on to what everyone is looking forward to. So we have the Diamond. We're going to do a little review
It's
of that.
not just the
and I
diamond,
think
it's the diamond.
the diamond.
I didn't capitalize
you have
that.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
this
you
is
have to
very
put
shiny.
Underlined, isn't it?
emphasis on the. I have to pronounce it as the, as if you're, I don't know, in some Shakespearean play. Just put
Well,
two E's.
I suppose I've gotten used to it. It was only worth like $100,000, before
Yeah, it
the
was like
update. So it was really
150K.
just another diamond, really.
Yeah.
But first, we're wondering, was the Diamond Heist DLC too hyped?
Too hyped.
Hyped or anticipated
Oh.
could be the better word.
Yeah.
It depends on what you mean by hyped. I mean, the trailer was... The trailer
made it
was
look-
very big and elaborate for what the heist was, I felt.
Well,
yeah, I know,
I think they did a good job
yeah.
with the story. Yeah.
They made
They
it out
did
like
a great
it was...
job with the story, but in the trailer, they didn't really follow through on it at all. Like, in the heist, it was just
a normal heist.
kind of walk in.
Yeah, the diamond was
Yeah,
made
it was-
out to be, it's one of the most valuable diamonds in the world. But the actual heist to get to it is, like 3 time locks and a locked door, which you can pick through.
And
And
a-
also, I suppose a floor trap. Yeah.
Well, actually, if we could go on that topic for a second, did anyone else find it odd that there was like a rocky cave with an ancient puzzle in the back that was holding them? Like, I don't think modern security really does that. I don't know. I just,
Well,
I
Yes,
just
I
felt
thought
that
they
was a
would just
little
fire
weird.
arrows at
Gensec.
you traditionally.
Gensec security does. That's probably what it is. It's ancient Gensec security. It's like an old floor trap they had.
How would they take it out to clean it or something? Actually, what's the point of having it in the museum in the first place if it's just going to be locked in a vault?
Yeah, don't we have? Well, I mean, we've hit
For people
everywhere
to
with
rob
a
it.
vault.
Yeah, but what's the point of it being in a museum? Because no one's going to see it.
Well, I'm assuming it's open during the day, and
Oh, yeah.
probably the
The
poison
floor
gas
tap's
is
turned
turned
off.
off typically.
I'm pretty sure we've proved at this point that places with vaults don't really work against us. So
Yeah.
Thermal drill.
Yeah, they
I'm
continue to use
surprised the
keycards.
thermal drill
on
wasn't
some
actually
of the-
used in this.
was
You could just
he able to get
rattle.
through 10 things before he said it? I think so.
The diamond.
Pretty sure he said 10 words or something.
Something like that.
10 thermal drill in 10 minutes. 10
Back
time
to the
locks.
trailer. They did really craft this very expansive story to really describe everything about the diamond.
Yeah.
And they also, of course, hyped us up a little bit by having some hint of betrayal at the very end of the trailer.
With Dallas. Yeah.
Something happening to Dallas or the guy behind Dallas. And speaking of the man behind Dallas, we're wondering what was his point. Is that right?
That's what I said. Yeah. It's... What was the point of putting him in the trailer? Was that just to troll us, or was that...
Didn't we
It was
touch on this
Clover.
last week
Mr.
when we
Clover-
were
Clover's
looking at the
granddad.
hype for him? Yeah, Cloaker's granddad. I think we touched on this where we speculated it could just be an entire troll by Elmir, just like a giant wink. I feel like that's what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, it was just a red herring. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
But I mean, that being said, we were joking last time about him being, just like a random cloaker that would follow you around in the game and possibly incapacitate you a couple of
his
times.
cane?
But I mean, if he was in the game, like he was another NPC, do you even think the game could handle something like that? I mean, the AI isn't really complex as it is right now.
It'd probably be like,
How could
you know,
they
in,
do it?
you know,
Well, they
in
don't
White
really need
Christmas-
complex AI when they have desync on their side.
Well,
Yeah, the
you know
AI
how
just crafts itself.
in White Christmas there's the cloaker which wears the Santa hat. They could just have a cloaker which wears a pair of glasses.
Over his night vision goggles.
Yeah.
They could have a cloaker that no
Fishing
matter where they
class.
are can kick you, or they could just drop
Oh,
down.
what, you mean like they are now?
Position.
Yeah, I mean, like they are now.
Or instead
So
of kicking
basically,
you,
just
right?
more cloakers.
Instead of kicking you in the face, they kick you from the game. And you have to be really careful with that. Even if you're the host. It just migrates.
You have, yeah. In the bottom it says system X player has been have been kicked by a cloaker.
I've been bicycle kicked from the game.
Oh, it's funny you should say that. How you saying
No, that'd
being
be
kicked?
interesting,
I was
actually.
saying that, but my game just crashed as we were talking about that.
You know,
That's-
if the in-game messages said, like, the host kicked the particular player that was kicked by that cloaker, that could create, a good deal of animosity amongst the player group in there. It's like, hey, why did you kick that guy? He didn't do anything wrong. And that could have been the betrayal sort of thing that was displayed in the end of that trailer.
The cloaker made me do it.
That would really mess up a good team, I would think.
Or it could be like a Left 4 Dead, where there's a versus mode, and it's just heisters versus cloakers. You have like one guy who's a cloaker who kicks people from the game. Yeah, that could work. Yeah.
So what are we thinking about the difficulty of the diamond? I mean, they hyped it up to be like one of the most coveted items, and in my opinion, it was a little disappointing. It was very easy, even on Death Wish. What about you guys?
I think the security was less than like Big Bank.
Yeah. And Big Bang
except
could be
for that.
like security.
Except for that trap with the floor, but apart from that,
Even that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sometimes
I felt it was on stealth. It was easier than Big Bank or even Shadow Raid. To be quite honest, the stealth was very easy. The loud, just a different dynamic. A lot more choke points, lots of enemies spawning.
Yeah.
the spawns were pretty.
I think it's like 15 or 20 guards on the map.
Yeah, but they all
Well,
have very
yeah,
predictable patterns.
Yeah. Well,
And wherever
I
you're
wouldn't say
moving,
that.
chances are they won't be there.
Their pattern's never been predictable because they just wander wherever they want. Guards always just seem to wander about willy-nilly.
Well,
They don't actually have a proper...
In real life, do security guards have like set patrols?
I'm pretty sure they would. I'm pretty sure they do.
Pretty sure they do, yeah. I'm pretty
You
sure
don't
they
just
have like a set
run
route.
into a room, stare at a wall, and then walk back. I mean, that wall doesn't really need guarding.
Well, I mean, it does if we're going to break through it. So, I don't know. Maybe they had the right idea, just wrong location. Like, imagine if we had like an army of guards staring at the wall where we broke into the transfer there where they were taking Hoxton. They were like 3 guards, but they were unsuspecting. If we had like 20 guards that were just staring at the wall, waiting.
Well, then when we plant the wall, then they all get blown up with it. Good plan.
Well, yeah, but the difference being they were expecting it.
They knew this
So they
day
were
would
right.
come.
Yeah, there we are. Good plan.
In terms of the difficulty, I was really bothered by the fact that they put those iron bars on the outside of the building. I mean, it's like I equate it to the bathroom door, the outside bathroom door in Framing Frame. Just, it's such a crutch to rely on. I mean, I haven't entered the museum in any other way.
I've broken through the front door instead.
Yeah, I've done that.
Just had to wait for a guard to turn around. I mean, it's just as easy, really. And
I mean, the difference being on Framing Frame, regardless of map spawns, you can get in through the side door. On the Diamond, I mean, I had a very unlucky spawn today where every single row of grates was covered by a camera. So I kind of got screwed over in that regard, and then there was like 2 guards outside, so I had to go in through the front door.
Well, actually, that's a good trade-off, because you could technically still get through the iron grate using the thermal paste, but you'd have to waste an ECM on it. I
Or
think
you'd
that
have
would be
to
a good trade-off, but
mess
there's
up
not
the
always a
camera.
camera there, that's the thing.
Mm.
Or I guess you could use the ghost skill to disable that for a short time. That's
you
also a
could.
good trade-off. But most of the time I've found that when I've played it, even on Death Wish, there's usually no camera there.
Well, there's usually no camera on both of them. Or on all of them. There's usually a camera on 1 or 2.
But is there ever a time where there's a camera on none of them? Probably not. There's probably got to be a camera on all of them at some point, or on one of them at...
Well, do you guys recall any cameras being inside the museum other than right before the final door?
Yes.
Yeah, there were a
yeah.
few. Yeah.
Yeah. There's quite
The
a
first
few.
floor,
There's
first floor, not so much.
There's a few in the
except for
basement.
the gallery. The gallery on the first floor has a few. All the gallery rooms can have cameras.
And the basement has one, I think.
Yeah, that's true. The basement has a camera. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Sometimes they
Well,
want to
all in
guard
all.
that area, sometimes they don't.
But yeah, the cameras are right there, so... The camera access, yeah, because you can't take out cameras.
If you place it.
Well, I'd say either way, it's still a little too easy in my opinion. It was, and because of that, it was a little disappointing, was it not?
I think for the price they were asking for it, it was a bit disappointing. I mean, I'd still enjoy it. I've played it quite a lot now, at least.
Well,
loud,
I mean, for that price, I want them to serve me caviar and champagne while I play. Like $7.
Yeah, no,
that's a robbery.
That might be next DLC. Caviar and champagne.
The Golden
pack.
Grin Casino?
Gauge food pack. It's just...
Gauge Gourmet Pack.
Yes, he'll
Yeah.
roll up to you in his wheelchair and just serve you it and make you feel really sorry for him.
Gauge Pity
Well, I do
Pack.
feel sorry for him now.
The Gauge
give
Pity
ideas.
Pack.
No, he's branching out.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, you guys looked at the achievements, right? Have you been trying to get them?
No,
Done most
I
of them.
tried
I don't.
I tried,
so.
Hakuna Matata or whatever it's called about twice, and then gave...
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was... I'd be okay with it, but it's just they force you to use a golden AK and a Thompson, and I hate both of those guns.
I
mean...
Oh, you mean the typewriter, the Tabula Rasa.
The Tabula Rasa achievement.
I got disconnected at day 2.
Ooh,
That was because my game crashed.
Ah, that would explain it. Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
still on the
and
list.
then after that I just went, no, not trying that again.
Still on the list for my crew to do. I haven't tried it yet. Figured out builds and weapons and everything for them, though.
Well, it actually sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, you don't have to worry about any skills. You can't rely on, some of those crutches like Inspire, Aced.
Yeah, I was so used to Inspire that it was really weird not being able to just press E at a considerable distance or get someone back up almost instantly.
I was thinking
Weird.
at the very least, you should have at least like one gadget each.
Yeah,
Did you guys?
It seemed
Yeah,
seems
that would
strange,
be.
like an armor bag.
There's a dozer right there. Quick, drop your ECM.
Well, it's better than... Oh no, there is a bulldozer. Quickly, put on your armor from your armor bag.
Except it gives you a suit.
Switch out your suit. Yeah, switch out your suit for your other suit.
With a classier suit, of course.
Yeah.
You don't do that in real life? Oh.
Oh, of course I do.
I always do that. I don't always wear a suit, but when I do,
It comes from
I
a
always... Yeah,
Yeah.
always.
I just hold the G key. And
It just
Probably
appeared.
really weak.
I just
It's
pull out a
on my
keyboard from my pocket and I hold G and it just changes my suit instantly.
Well, I think there was a gaming convention a while ago that Overkill attended, and I think during one of the tests, or I don't want to say a test, during one of the plays that they got people to, play Payday 2, they had a specific loadout and skill set for each player. So, you wouldn't have like 3 master enforcers. You'd have 1 mastermind, 1 enforcer, 1 ghost, and 1 technician. So you'd all have to deal with the skills that you got. And I thought the Tabula Rasa...
had to do things loud when he ghost skills. It's like, okay guys, let me just ECM this door. And that's about all he can do. Yeah.
Well, I think that'd be a pretty neat achievement to just have everyone really play a different role in each of the missions. I kind of like Tabula Rasa because, as we mentioned before, you can't rely on any of those crutches. It forces you to play a different way. It forces you to play more carefully. And I was thinking maybe Overkill might introduce more of those achievements. Like, why did they introduce it? It wasn't related to the diamond. It was just some achievement that they thought up.
I feel it was probably for the lulls.
Either you had to complete Hoxton Breakout, which had been out for a while now. It seemed odd that they made it the achievement for that map.
Well, maybe it was just a test, see if people like it, and maybe they might decide to add it in otherwise because they think
Well, they
the game
had to
might
have
be too
some
easy.
they had to have some kind of hard challenge for the 5th skill profile, right? And I mean, I suppose forcing all of the master forcers and tech forcers to learn to play a dodge build is a suitable punishment.
But what?
That's a punishment, playing a dodge build?
Yeah, yeah.
From
Feel like
everyone
it'd be
that I
easier.
talk to, yes. I don't see it, but yes.
They just,
Then again, I only
like
play
the
with,
thumps feeling
enforcers,
on their chest
so-
from being shot.
Well, one of my crew is used to ICTV with bulletproof, so he's used to just being able to sit in front of a dozer and just kind of eat and drink And
Eat
just
and
make
drink
small
water.
talk with the dozer. Yeah,
That's
just eat
another
and
nice
drink.
thing
and
about
Even drink
make
the
small
food
talk
we
with
eat.
the
just
dozer, but
faceplate.
he tried to do that when he was testing his Tabula Rasa loadout, and didn't go too well for him.
Yeah, because no
And,
one could revive him after he died.
Yeah, he was made of paper. He's not used to that.
Alright. Are we going to move on to...
Well, actually, I wanted one more thing, because
okay.
there's that achievement with the 10-minute achievement with the diamond heist. I thought that was a little unfortunate to even see that. I mean, it basically implies that the mission's kind of short. Like, finish this mission
Well,
in
it
5
is.
minutes. Well, it is. I mean, the fact that it's there, though, is a little
It's not really
disconcerting, in my
implied,
opinion. I
it's-
didn't really want to see that.
You play it once, and you kind of realize it can be a short heist. It can be rushed. It's not really a implication. It's kind of
Well, keep in mind, we
straight
did
up.
get the achievements before the mission came out, and I was just kind of disappointed to steal the most valuable diamond in the world in under 10 minutes.
Well,
I was disappointed that I didn't get like a Clover or like Hitler come out and try and kill me after I took it.
Zombie Hitler?
Yes, maybe
Cloaker
maybe
Hit-
the maybe the
Cloaker
bullet that
Hitler,
went through
yeah.
Hitler's brain just would pop up in the mission and somehow incapacitate you.
yeah.
What if the granddaddy Cloaker fired that bullet from his cane?
Miss Kane? Oh, so
Cane
it's like
gun.
a
Yeah.
Yes, the Cloaker's
there
the
we are,
descendant of Hitler.
new melee weapon. Cane gun. It is both a melee weapon.
Wait,
and
a gun is
primary.
a melee weapon.
Yeah.
Explain to me how this works. I mean, besides
Well,
pistol whipping.
it works just the same as having a grenade as a melee weapon, which they
But
already
it's a
have.
World War II grenade, and that was quite appropriate.
That's true.
It's probably
Yeah,
a
it's
callback to TF2.
Mashing potatoes.
A German grenade, I suppose.
Yeah, a stick grenade.
Yeah.
Well, moving on, did you guys play Payday the Heist? Because this isn't the first time that we've heisted a diamond.
Yes.
This is the first time we've heisted the diamond, though.
One
yeah,
diamond?
not just any
That is
diamond,
true.
but the diamond.
But, you know,
Gus
it's
very keen to let you know that.
it's
I'm
hard
gonna
not
have to
to
weigh out
compare
of this
mission.
conversation. I haven't played the first Payday yet.
Mm.
It's just sitting in my Steam library.
Well, we'll play it
Oh.
together soon. But I mean, it's hard not to compare this mission to Diamond Heist from Payday the
Well, yeah,
Heist.
the music is like, well, even it's even
It's a
called
2015
Breached.
version, right?
Yeah. Although I still prefer the original version. I don't like the new version. It just kind of sounds like a, I don't know. It's like those people who try to make remixes of the Payday soundtrack, and it just sounds kind of not as good. It sounds like that. It's just, let's take a really, really good track that people liked and try and update it, and it just kind of sounds... It sounds okay, but for the original version, it just sounds better.
I haven't listened to it much, but I mean, I definitely recognized some of the
Yeah.
audio cues, like the really high-pitched whiny noise that plays the cue from the original Heist music, but I didn't really
that-
hear the comparison. But then again,
That
the
always seemed
gunshots
to
probably
play since the
faster.
assault ended whenever I had it on. So it was like, oh, that's the bit from the Brit. Oh, we can't hear it anymore because the assault ended. Just be, just quiet music. Yeah.
Well, this new mission did really remind me of the original Diamond Heist because at the one of your first objectives is to hack, a number of different security boxes, right?
Yeah.
But the difference between this one and the one in Payday the Heist, the security boxes were on several different levels, so you really had to travel all throughout the map. In
Yeah.
the Diamond, you only had to walk around mainly the first level, and maybe there was one downstairs, but you didn't really have any risk of running into guards too much. I felt like you had so much room to maneuver that it was just really easy.
To be fair, it's better than the Diamond Heist from the first one because that was well, that always had the problem of if you shoot a guard, then it's instant.
It's an
alert,
instant alarm.
Which
Well, I mean,
really,
that's just an inherent problem of the first game. I mean, there was really no stealth in the sense
Yeah.
that we understand it in Payday 2.
So I guess you could argue that it's easier. The Diamond is easier than Diamond Heist, but
Well, it's easier, but what do we think? Do we think that the Diamond Heist from Payday the Heist is a little more enjoyable than the Diamond? Like, why Well, in my opinion, that's the case, just because it's more challenging.
I guess
just the
it
level
is.
layout's a little better, in my opinion, in the first game.
The actual
Yeah.
map design does look quite nice.
The objectives are more interesting as well. Like find the was it the CEO?
CEO's kid.
Then and then you throw someone out of a helicopter, and then you get someone to do something, and then time locks codes, and the codes don't work. Whereas in the Diamond, it's just quickly go to this computer, hack it. Okay, now hack this time lock. Okay, now hack this time lock. Okay, now unlock this door. Okay, now find your way across a quite easy floor trap. Okay,
Get to
good.
the chopper.
Go. Yeah, leave.
Well, let's get to the chopper. That's a universality between both of the missions. But I mean, there was a lot of levels in the first Payday the Heist, Diamond Heist mission. This one, you're really mainly staying on the main floor. And that kind of gets
It's very
me thinking.
symmetrical as well. The whole.
Yeah,
I suppose it's kind
exactly.
of symmetrical in the Diamond Heist as well, but it's more symmetrical in the Diamond because it's just, it's more or less like a mirror.
Well, the Diamond mission is actually the museum that it's set in is actually a real museum. Apparently.
It's actually a museum in somewhere.
In Washington, in the
Well, it
National
have to be,
Mall
wouldn't
or whatever it's called.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But that kind of leads me to my point here, which I'm going to make, is that originally when Payday 2 came out and they said that the crew was going to make their way to Washington, I thought that was a little limiting to them, because you would want to, obviously, if you're going to set a game in a particular location, you're going to want it to look like the location. You want to be authentic in the locations that you visit. I mean, eventually you're going to visit the National Mall or whatever it's called in Washington. It's a very famous location.
Perhaps
So
that's gonna
I
be
was
the
thinking they're
last
almost
one.
limiting themselves, like shooting themselves in the foot in the amount of creativity they can have with the heists.
I don't know.
They should just set it in
Yeah.
Payday Land.
Well, that's where it was set in the first game, right?
Yeah, a
Payday Land,
fiction.
where there's
Yeah.
large banks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's large banks everywhere.
Perhaps in the last DLC they'll do something really big, like a massive museum or something.
Well, where's the
about
Golden Grin Casino going to be set? Is there like casinos in
Vegas.
Washington?
I'm pretty sure the dentist said he's going to send us to Vegas.
Ah, well,
Yeah,
that
I'm
makes
pretty
sense. A
sure.
lot of
Or
casinos there.
I don't think he was going to send us. He said someone was going to send us, his benefactor or someone like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, someone's going to send us to Vegas and to the
Maybe
casino.
it's the butcher, probably not, but I don't know.
I want to get like a very big like a Caesar's Palace kind of thing for the grin. I really do.
Oh yeah, you were talking about being served caviar and stuff. I think that would be the place
Exactly.
to go.
Yeah, well, they go hand in
Actually,
hand.
you know what? You remember how he said the last crew tried to take the diamond? What was it? Drax, I think.
Daxter
Yeah,
or something? I could have sworn.
Yeah.
Drax
You know,
or
they
Daxter.
weren't.
Yeah.
None of them made it out except for some of his pieces, right? They all
Some of
died.
them.
Right. Yeah.
Some of them made it out.
Back to the whole difficulty thing. He must have been really, really bad at his job.
Yeah, he exploded
that,
by
like-
the poison gas, I guess.
Yeah, that, like the poison gas like took a knife and like cut him up. I don't know.
and threw a few pieces out and just went.
Yeah, he must have been really bad at his job.
Well, maybe one of his teammates threw a grenade in stealth and killed him.
Oh, why did they do
Maybe
that?
one
They
of his
could've just
teammates threw a
stopped it.
grenade in loud on
Because
top of him.
Because LOL's so random.
Okay, so final thoughts on
yeah.
the diamond. We're thinking, I'm just guessing, you guys, based on what you've said. You're thinking it might not be worth the price. I mean, we got the map, which is really definitely easy, but we also got some masks. But there were no weapons this time with the level DLC.
There was-
Well, I mean, I think Bane summed it up pretty well. $7. That's a robbery.
yeah.
That's why he did it though.
Clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time now. Every time a new level is released, we can use that.
And
Yeah, they must have
speaking
done it
of
on
robbery,
purpose, actually. Yeah.
oh well, they made all the level DLC $7, and they said it
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Boston breakout.
They must
Yeah.
have done. It must have been
That's
something
right.
that crossed their mind.
Man, wow, that actually really matches, because Bane says, like, what, $7? That's robbery. We were hardly here.
That
Just like in the museum.
We were hardly here. Yeah, that kind of makes more sense for this.
Oh man, overkill. Oh man.
They're taking
Just
the piss.
self-jabs.
Yeah.
How could you guys not notice that? That's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Well, now we all have.
Hooray. So, we're going to be moving on to Clover, I'm assuming?
Yeah, speaking of robbery, as I was mentioning before, we're going to move on to the Clover character pack. So,
hang on. Speaking of character packs, have you guys gone into the Game of the Year bundle on Steam?
Oh, the
No,
new bundle?
so I already owned everything, so I haven't actually bothered to go on the store.
Yeah, same.
Oh yeah, the pricing.
Yeah.
It's all weird.
Yeah, with the character...
Oh, yeah, all
John
the
Wick.
free stuff.
Oh,
free
yeah,
updates.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything seems pretty normal, but John Wick character pack is $40 down from $80.
Yeah.
Hoxton is $40 down from $80. The Infamy update is $40 down from $80. So is the Election.
I mean, I think it's all around like $45, and Simon came out and flat out said,
Yeah.
it's a glitch in the Steam system. We're not actually paying for that. Like, it's not even possible to buy it. But I mean, for a new person coming to the game, it must look really bad, because
God,
I know I
Death
tried
Wish.
to get a couple of
Death
friends
Wish.
into the game. And they're like, man, Payday has like a lot of DLC. Like, am I even going to be able to play it without all of them? And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, for the level DLC, you can play it. Like, if someone else has it, you don't all have to buy it and stuff like that. Overkill's very fair like that. But man, this must
$40
look
for
really
John Wick.
bad for Overkill on the Steam store.
I could just buy I could buy like 2 or 3 copies of John Wick for that much.
Yeah. It seems kind of weird when the actual like virtual character of John Wick in a video game costs more than it does to watch the movie John Wick.
Well, you can feel like John Wick with the John Wick DLC pack.
Feel like John Wick and talk nothing like John Wick and look
One.
nothing like John Wick. Yeah, one.
I can't
What?
get over his voice acting. I mean, it's not Keanu who's doing the voice acting, but it's not
I
even
know,
just
it's
that.
so-
Like, the voices the voice lines that he has, it's like a parody of Keanu Reeves. It's not like John Wick, the character. It is Keanu Reeves,
He
the
sounds
actor,
so...
the character.
Yeah, but John Wick is Keanu Reeves. There is no John Wick. It's all Keanu Reeves.
It's just an alias.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
So
He really was a hitman.
Yes, but
what,
we
Keanu...
certainly got off topic
It's a
there.
real person.
We were
Awesome.
talking about the very first female player character, Clover, in Payday, and
Yeah.
there was quite a bit of huff over Overkill actually charging for her as a new character.
I think one of you guys called it.
And I believe they're
actually.
charging like $5 or something.
I think someone actually called it last week. I don't know who.
And who was that?
I don't know. Someone did.
That was pretty firm on them just making it free. I mean, why
Yeah.
would they charge on like
Yeah.
a completely new character? She's a new female character.
Exactly. They made...
You know,
they
I have
made
female friends who'd like to play the game, but there's no female characters in there.
Yeah, I know. I thought it seemed... Yeah. And then Hoxton's free. Hoxton's someone that everyone knows and wants to play as, but he's free. And then it's like, here is a new person that you don't actually
Well, that
know
was-
and they actually hate.
I like how they shoehorn her into the canon.
With
'Cause
Hoxton.
it's the same thing they did with John Wick. Hey, you know what? Chain's found an old bro from the military, and he's going to join the crew. Hey, look, Hoxton found an old bro from his England crime spree days. She's going to join
Be
the
honest-
crew.
So
I
that
don't
means
really-
Chains is gonna
Oh.
get a friend. Oh no.
Yeah.
No, Wolf.
Well, Wick is the friend.
Wolf. Wolf will, because everyone has a friend
Maybe-
of the team.
He's gonna bring in Almir.
Dallas brought in. Dallas has a guy from his childhood that
No,
he
he has,
brought in to
he
be
has
part of the
Houston.
crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Then it goes full circle, and it's like, okay, new character who Clover met, and then new character who John Wick met, and then
It's
they'll
just-
have another
it's
new character
recursion.
who's, yeah, just goes on forever.
Coming next year, the
Infinitely.
Payday fighting game.
Yeah.
That'd
But
be
now we
good.
can speculate. Who is Wolf's associate going to be?
Almir.
Almir, yeah.
Get the fuck over here.
And
I
all
would
of
mind
Almir's quotes are just wink. That's it. Just like a sound of a wink. It's like
But
when
every
he
time
inspires someone,
he says something,
he
it
just
just
winks.
comes up in chat with a winky face. It's like
No,
if
no,
he's
like
hurt.
there's like a sound of a wink. So like every time you inspire someone, it's just like a sound of a wink.
What does a wink sound like? Which is like a weird squishing sound.
No,
Guess it
no,
would
there's
sound
like a
blink.
What's
no,
a
a wink. There's a sound for when someone is winking. There's a sound. Here, hang on, I'm gonna find this.
Wink.
Is it going to be like an anime sound effect, like doo Or like a ting?
What do you guys think of the voice acting for it?
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, like we got a snippet of her in the Christmas song that they put out, right? I thought she sounded like, as bad as this is to say, like I thought she sounded really girly in the Christmas soundtrack. But actually, in game, I thought she fit quite well. Like she has a good amount of crazy to her when she's putting herself into the role, like especially in the loud segments of the game where you actually do hear her playing
She'll
different.
like see a shield, and then her voice will just go abnormally high in a voice box and just explode.
Yeah, there's that one very obvious line where yes, her voice cracks, and they play that line quite a bit.
Yeah. Her voice is really weird. It like annoyed me
Well, I mean,
at
do you guys
first.
find it fits?
It annoyed me at first, but I'm getting used to it.
Sort
As
of.
long as, like, yeah.
I ended up playing as her without even owning the DLC, which is kind of strange.
Well, yeah.
It's like they didn't really.
Yeah. Well, they did the same thing with
DLC is
Austin.
mostly
If you get randomly assigned to her, owning the DLC just means you can select her in your menu.
Yeah. Yeah, and
You
use
can
her.
get randomly assigned to her.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of ruins the value of the DLC. I mean, it's not common to really get your preferred character, especially if you're joining another person's game.
Mm. Well, that's like saying that the value of all the other DLC is like like all the heist DLC is, has been devalued because you can just join someone else who's hosting it.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, you typically, on the previous level DLC packs, you could get extra stuff if you bought it. Like, you can't get the achievements,
Guns and
you can't
masks.
use the weapons, and you can't use the masks.
Yes.
Essentially, I feel like that's sort of what Overkill's asking for. Like, to play the maps, I understand them not wanting to limit it, because in many games, I mean, if you don't own the DLC, you can't play with your friends at all, and you can imagine how annoying that is. And
Yeah.
it feels like a clear cash grab to limit people in that way. But for Clover, I mean, you can play as her just randomly. I mean, if you join a game where there's already 3 people, there's a pretty high chance that you'll be playing as Clover if no one else has already picked her, right? Especially if they don't have the DLC.
I guess. Yeah. Oh well, I bought it now, so yeah. Once I bought it and sort of went, she's Clover and there's a gun, I just sort of forgot about it. It's just kind of like part of the game now, like with all the other DLC. Kind of like the Diamond as well. It's kind of, it's not. I don't know. It just sort of becomes part of. I don't know. I just forget about it soon enough.
Do we
it's
know
weird.
if the Clover DLC sold well? Like, was it on the top list of...
I know it did.
It was.
top selling
Oh,
stuff?
sorry, the
It
Clover
was,
one.
yeah. Because
yeah.
I think Almir tweeted it and like a Steam screenshot of that
Hmm.
in like the top selling section.
Well, given how successful it is, I guess that might set a precedent for Overkill charging for future characters.
Yeah.
If there are characters.
Let's hope not.
Well, I mean, how many people can we really shoehorn into, like, the Payday crew? It's like you don't even fit in the van anymore. Or, like, I guess the safe house could get kind of full if they don't, release upgrades. Why did I bring that up?
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
give
don't
them
bring
any
that up.
ideas. The Clover character pack is on page 5 of the top sellers.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I mean, there's the Steam sales going on right now, so I don't know if that's very accurate.
No.
It might have been on the first page, for all
It
we know.
was. And the Diamond Heist is on page 4. And that has like a medium reaction to it.
Fair enough.
There's a lot of
So, do
negative.
we have any thoughts on the skill deck of Clover's?
It's
I
rubbish.
suppose?
no,
Really?
it's rubbish.
It doesn't
Not
seem
true.
really usable.
It's,
Okay, Remy, tell us more. You're our consultant. What can you tell us about the skill deck?
All right. So, if you're going, there's a few situations in which it can be viable. I have the build guy on our crew is playing around with making a viable build, loud build with it. I don't know how viable it would be when compared against the meta, so dodge build, fugitive builds, probably not as viable, but it can be. As for stealth is where it gets interesting. It just provides more quality of life buffs. You don't even have to go all the way through the deck. I think it's you can stop at the third to last skill or perk in the deck, and then you get to go for stealth. It's really, if you're in one of those situations where you either have to stealth it, i.e. Shadow Raid, or I think election day, day 2, if you did the truck correct, I think that's a stealth only. Pretty sure.
No.
And if you're no,
It's loud.
okay,
believe
then
me, yeah.
ignore that.
Well, it's preferable to
Yeah.
do it stealthily since you
very.
get the gold at the end.
But it is possible to go loud. Except you have to wait around in the security office for 5 minutes. Or like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never done it loud, so I guess there's that. But like a Shadow Raid where you have to stealth, or if you plan to stealth and do a Hawkshead restart, or just restart with grenades, then it can be a good deck. Because you don't need the loud benefits, you don't need dodge. All the downsides to it go away, and you're left with the beneficial pager speed upgrades for picking, pager answering.
Yeah, but that's like 1 second though. It barely makes a difference. It's 1 second.
Yeah, but 9 seconds is better than 10 seconds. I mean, granted, if you're good at stealth, you shouldn't need it. But if you have it and you're going stealth only, it's a good deck to have. It's just better. That 1 second could mean the difference between using your last pager or finishing the heist. Depends.
I
So,
guess.
bottom line, if you're doing stealth only, it's a good tool.
If it's stealth only, then yeah, I guess you might as well use it. But
And
other
it's
than
top
that,
tier,
just-
but if it's loud, except in some
Yeah.
very specific scenarios, I feel like the dodge rogue deck is better, because the burglar deck actually has a good element of your friends are targeted over you, rather
Yeah,
than
I found-
you dodge.
I found that deck is like, it's good for people who go AFK, because loads of it is, if you are crouching and not moving, then you will not be targeted, and you will have more dodge, and you will be invincible, and you will never die. That's all
Unless
it
you
is.
take
It's
a
like,
swig from your beer.
I've
Yeah.
coined it the fuck you deck, because it's a lot of solo play, kind of a selfish deck, really, because it means your friends get hit, you don't.
Yeah, I hated that skill when it was an actual skill. It's like there's a 15% chance that the cops will target your friends instead of you.
Yeah.
Like what? Like how selfish is that?
So yeah, I don't know. Overall, stealth, it's good. It's an upgrade. It's just a straight upgrade for stealth only. But if you're going loud, yeah, not so good. You're better off with the meta.
I just don't know where like Overkill could really go with the skill decks, because they're relatively small upgrades, I want to say, or even regarding a couple of different skill decks. Like there's clearly ones that are more preferred than the others. Like the rogue deck, I use that exclusively just because the dodge that it provides is so good.
I
find it funny that they keep adding on more decks, and they also have a slight focus on dodge or whatnot, but they're never going to be as good as the rogue deck. So it seems like almost a waste to me. 10% faster.
They came out with their trump card first, which is not a good thing. Everything is going to be compared to the rogue deck now. Anything that comes out that has the slightest bit of dodge, which is not good. I mean, it depends. Rogue and Crook are both on the same level, depending on what your build uses.
and then there's Hitman. Because well, actually, does Hitman have?
I use that.
I can't remember.
I use that.
We don't talk about Hitman.
I use
Does
it.
Hitman have dodge? I don't even know what's even in that deck anymore.
Hitman is
like
all
low armor.
less armor, more armor regen, which makes no difference if you're being suppressed.
Yeah.
So it's useless.
I don't see what it's got to do with Hitman.
I
Either.
use it, though.
What? Do you? Why?
And that's why you're not the gameplay guy.
I don't know. I use it because it has low concealment on Parascience pistols. So
That's weird. I thought Hitman would be like a great stealth deck. When I hear Hitman, I think of the Hitman game series, like fast.
Yeah, it's
like
not.
body
Hitman
bagging,
Absolution.
like slightly
it's
faster
a very
walking,
big misnomer.
better
It's
thinking.
like a chicken wire to choke people to death with.
Yeah. I
I
think
would
you're a
love
really
a
bad hitman
Geralt
if you
wire.
walk into the front door and just like kill everyone like so haphazardly.
I would love a wire like that, but no. Almir, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't see
Yeah,
them
we-
being able to really spread themselves out in terms of the skill decks. They almost seem moot.
Yeah, the next one's just gonna. You get more armor and a bit of dodge, but then it's like, oh well, I don't need armor when I'm dodge. Not really. Yeah.
That's kind of
Doesn't make much
it's
sense.
kind of contradictory. You get less dodge if you wear armor.
Yeah,
Either
you do.
or.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like they've done all they can in terms of main focuses for the skill decks. They really
Yeah.
can't do much else other than either a little quality of life or just kind of changing up the numbers a bit. You really can't do much.
Same with skilled trees. I'm glad they didn't add another skilled tree, because they clearly run out of ideas when they added in the Fugitive one, when it was... Well, not completely, but
third
at some
one?
point...
Brother's Keeper, I'm looking at you.
all that stuff. I mean, stuff like Swan Song, I mean, a lot of people really...
I don't know. I
it's
mean,
really-
I use Swan Schlong. I use it.
Yeah, it's a good skill. But
I
then
don't
there's
want
other-
Swan Schlong. It sounds like a terrible skill.
Swan Schlong aged. It sounds like... Yeah, that's the sort of thing that Sean Connery... That's how he'd pronounce it, probably.
I don't know. I mean, I use
get
it.
a Scottish heister, and it's going to be voiced by Sean Connery.
Oh, don't give him ideas. Sean Connery will probably... Oh, there'll be like a new film with Sean Connery is in it for some reason. Overkill.
Wasn't he like some sort of heister in The Rock or something? I don't remember.
I don't know. Yeah, it'll end up being a new heist. It's like, oh, John Wick knew him from that other film he did with him.
Maybe, yes, he killed a soldier who was about to shoot him in the full motion video promo that they released.
Yeah, now he's
Obviously.
in for...
And now he's in need of a crew. He's in DC and he's in need of a crew.
Yeah.
What a
I know, it's like,
coincidence.
yeah, I shot one man. Can I be your, like, can I join you now? Yeah, okay.
Can I be your hitman of your heisting group?
And so wait, we already have one. Oh,
We're all
it's
hitmen.
okay. You could join. John Wick goes to cry in the corner.
Poor
I
John.
really did like that video that they released, not the one with chains, when they released the John Wick DLC, the one where
Yeah,
like
the one
there's
with
people
John-
who invade his apartment and he's just like
Jumping
shoots
on
the shit out of him.
and shooting. Yeah.
Oh, what, that... Oh, yeah. Wasn't that from the film?
Yes, it was
itself.
from the film, and one guy made a really interesting quip. He's like, "Wow, I honestly don't mind about the John Wick DLC, but that video honestly just makes me think that the Payday crew got violently murdered by Keanu Reeves in Frame Day 3."
It
But yeah, they...
does,
Oh, yeah,
really did.
Someone should make a video where it's just that video, and he's going around killing everyone. Every time someone gets shot by him, you just hear like Bane yelling, "Dallas is down, Houston is down," until the end.
Hey, you're the guy who likes to superimpose like things on
that's-
on
Alright,
those
no,
videos. Why don't
Oh
you make
yeah,
that?
this is,
I'll do
this
it.
is a good time to make your to practice your motion tracking. Can track Dallas's mask and put all the masks on them, and then
Just put all the.
all right, yeah, let's reach the front page. Go for it.
It's a
Next, anyway, that's a new idea. Let's see if I remember to do it.
Illuminati.
It's a bit old now, that video. Oh well, I'll probably still do it at some
Yes,
point.
John Wick will clearly be a relevant movie like a year down the road.
I know.
why are they still
Yeah.
keeping
Just
it in?
imagine people coming back to this game and then they're like, "What the fuck is John
Yeah,
Wick
who's John
doing?"
Wick? Yeah.
He's in all the
It's like, oh, he's from that famous film. What famous film?
he's in
Never
all
heard
the
of it.
advertising though. He's in like he's in the historical pack and he's in the Xmas Carol.
John Wick.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. You know what? I think he was that guy who was in the Hitman series. Oh yeah, you know maybe. Could be. Wasn't he in the Matrix? Oh yeah, we shot all the robots. Yeah, of course. How do we miss that?
They really should have just made a Johnny Utah character DLC or something.
I want a
Like
Neo.
he gave up
character
his
DLC.
life of like being a cop to become a bank heister like Bodhi.
Yeah, and then after he'd done that, he went and opened a pool repair company. I'm pretty sure that's canon, isn't it?
Pool repair, yes, it was. Too bad
Yeah,
they
after
didn't
he-
return that. It was
he went and
It
started.
was just Bodhi's laundry. Bodhi's clothing repair.
Clothing
You know, I still don't understand why they gave John Wick akimbo, like being able to dual wield.
He doesn't
I know.
like Kimbo in the
Doesn't
film
make
at
sense.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact,
Especially
he
seeing
doesn't
as
even
that
wear
was the
gloves in the
Matrix.
film.
Keanu Reeves. Pretty
Yeah,
Keanu-
see, here's the thing. They screwed up a little bit because they could have said they could have been correct in saying it's Keanu Reeves' signature because it's true because he did that in The Matrix, but they said it was John Wick's to preserve the character, but it's not. John Wick, the movie, never once uses dual
think he
It
looks-
doesn't seem like a
glocks.
professional thing to do, which he seems to portray in the movie, right?
Yeah, no, the whole like
it seems inefficient
one
to have two
gun.
weapons.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, you say that, but in like that, that clip of John Wick we were talking about earlier on, where he goes into that cat house and kills everyone. There's like a bit where he turns around, looks at the ground, crouches down, then shoots someone behind him. I don't think John Wick is past being impractical, to be honest. He seems like the type of guy who would.
No, but he seems very professional. You hear the intro for the sniper? Meet the sniper from TF2. A professional is efficient.
Yeah, he seems professional in the trailer, but then in the game
he has a plan to kill everyone he
throws
meets.
jars of piss at people. That is professional.
Yeah.
That's what real hunters
I don't
do.
know. Like, could make sense.
No, I
Yeah,
think
in
they
the
did
movie,
tests
he would
on that,
always,
like whether it's more efficient or like whether dual wielding is viable, and just the fact that it gives you a great disadvantage to not being able to reload or do anything with your other hand, and you have less control over the weapon.
Like,
by
fight
not
bad
having both
guys. I
hands
mean,
on.
he'd always use the other hand for something, whether it be distraction or like strangling someone, and then get them down and shoot them in the head. Wherever he shot them,
Exactly.
2 shots to the body, 1 shot to the head. Always.
That seems more efficient than
Very
having an
professional.
extra gun.
Make sure they're dead. You can see it
I
in the
thought
way
it
he
was
shot.
actually a callback to like Agent 47 in the Hitman series, because one of his trademarks is being able to do that. But I understand that being a game mechanic in the game because he's a clone and he's supposed to be stronger or something than regular human beings, so he can actually track targets with 2 guns.
Yeah, it just occurred to me. We're talking about John Wick, but weren't we talking about Clover before?
Oh
get on
yes.
to-
Well, we're
Oh,
talking
actually.
about character packs. We're just wondering, like, are they
Oh, yeah.
gonna keep going with charging people for the characters, even if they don't really offer anything more to the game? I mean, she's female, yeah. She looks slightly different, and her voice is clearly different,
Just
but
hair
she doesn't
physics.
really bring anything to the game. Like,
think-
the skill
I
deck
think-
is almost moot, as we discussed.
Yeah, I think that's why the pack costs so much because of the hair physics. That was something that took a lot of time to implement.
But they
You wanna get-
existed. There's that lady with the ponytail in Hoxton Breakout
Yeah, but this
Day
is
2.
Clover's hair physics. She's got like 1,000 different strands
She's
of
got
hair
more
which will move
strands.
individually. Whereas the ponytail lady was just like it was like a bit of rope stuck onto the back of her head, which just glitched around.
So, are we going to move on to the next topic?
Yes.
Well,
do that.
did we conclude on Clover? Like, any final thoughts on that?
Not really.
Is it worth the price?
She is a woman and she robs banks. She costs money to do that.
There's going to
There
be
we
some stupid Steam reviews a little later. So,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Well, the fact that I don't know, like, I don't know, are we done on Clover? Because I thought, like, just her being female, it's nothing special. She doesn't act any differently from the rest of the guys, and I know I'm not really going to buy the character packs in the future because they don't really offer anything more to the game.
I'll probably.
Maybe if they go on sale or something, like, so I can get the achievement if there's any linked with it, but to actually play as them, you don't even have to pay for it.
What if there's guns in the pack and one of the guns is a BFG? Would you buy it then?
Well, I suppose if it was like an F2000,
Oh
if they
yeah.
introduced a Sam Fisher pack or something, I guess I'd just have to buy it. Okay, so that's enough about Clover. Nothing really too
Yes.
significant, despite her being completely the very first female player character. She's all right. I guess that's her final review.
Yeah.
So our next topic, Lockie, what have we got?
I had a thing on Tabula Rasa. Someone said that it'd be cool to have it as a game mode or a difficulty.
Yes, I think I said that.
Yeah.
I think a difficulty would be pretty cool because you.
Death Wish 145.
Yeah. Trying to beat every heist like that.
Oh god.
I just think it'd be nice. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a game mode based on that. Like, maybe they would give you upgraded med bags and upgraded ammo bags and upgraded
How would it-
ECMs.
how would it work
Each
in
person would
stealth?
have to be a different class.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the curious thing. I'm not exactly sure how it
It
could work in
just can't
stealth.
ECM rush. I guess.
Maybe they would. Maybe it would just be for loud
Heists.
missions.
Yeah.
Because you don't really have to depend on inspired ace in a stealth mission. Like, you can't even use that actually.
Yeah, I know. If someone goes down, you actually can't inspire them up.
You have to walk to them.
Really?
But then they go into custody in stealth when the police don't know you're there.
They just turn. They're just so embarrassed that they turn themselves in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of falling down a ladder.
So moving on from that, probably the payday packages which are the overpriced things.
I don't know if they're overpriced.
Well, no,
exactly.
the free,
Oh yeah,
the free DLC.
the free updates which cost $40. Yeah.
$40 to go
That's-
Infamous.
Oh god.
Well, it is a glitch, Simon. Simon
Yeah.
clearly stated
Yeah,
on his
I know.
Twitter
It's just,
that,
Yeah.
that
It
it's
says
a glitch, but that is
It's been
quite
a glitch for a while though, is it? Wait, I don't know. Is it still actually
yes,
like that?
Yeah, I checked
Is it?
from
That's-
day one.
It's gonna be. They say it's a glitch, but they never said they're gonna fix it. Just
Well,
gonna
I don't know if we
use
managed to
play.
get this in the recording, but we were talking about this before. Like, it's got to make the game look really bad, lead to
Yeah.
to new players. Like, man, there's a lot of DLC for this game. Jesus.
I wouldn't be surprised if after this I go onto r/Steam and there's someone going there saying, "Hey, the sale's on, and Payday 2's DLC is really expensive. Anyone ever noticed that?" And then there's about 200 people saying, "Yeah, it's a glitch," and he goes, "Oh," but then just doesn't buy it anyway. That probably happened.
Well, speaking of the packages, I do like the fact that they released the content packs, so you can kind of get, the Game of the Year edition, the Gauge Weapon Pack, collection, so to speak. It's not really a season pass, so to speak, but you can just buy them all at once at a
That's-
slightly
yeah,
discounted
that's pretty
rate. But I mean, I'm wondering
yeah.
if they're going to be sort of dynamic.
So-
Like, if they release another Gauge Weapon Pack, is it going to be included in that, or you have to
Yeah.
add it separately afterwards?
I think that's a good question.
Ah.
And will it cost more the more that gets added to it?
The Game of the Year edition actually includes the game as well. I didn't think that.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and like the Christmas soundtrack and all that. But yeah, I don't know.
That's good.
Wow, you
Oh.
Like, I was always hoping
save $2.86, right?
I was hoping that Overkill would actually release some sort of season pass, because I actually do like Payday. I don't think I've ever paid for a season pass before, because, well, actually, I suppose I have to admit I did buy the season pass, if you can call it that, for Battlefield 3, but it was just disappointing.
I think
so
I-
it kind of
Back to Carlton.
dissuaded
I-
me from doing it.
Back to
I think I
Carlton was
remember
good,
buying
nothing
like the
else.
premium edition after everything had been released. It was just
Well, I got the
yeah,
Back to Karkand DLC
With-
because I pre-ordered the game. But it just makes you
Oh,
sad
yeah.
that you're not playing Battlefield 2, to be honest.
And Endgame was pretty good. The maps, I quite liked Endgame, but like the post-apocalyptic one or the earthquake one wasn't cool.
wasn't there like?
Aftermath?
But they still
After,
released DLC for Battlefield 3 after Battlefield 4 came out.
I think Endgame. No, Endgame was before. I think.
Yeah,
I
it should have
swear
came out
it came
before
out-
Battlefield 4.
Did it? I think it was like a week before Battlefield 4 came out, though, wasn't it? Something like that, or something. It was incredibly close. I mean, they'd
Yeah.
announced Battlefield 4 before they've released all their stuff for the third one.
Well, I think.
Well, you just knew that
five-
they were going to make another game that was going to
Yeah,
completely
okay.
succeed this one.
Five was going to
Yeah.
come out in I think 2016.
Is that?
They've already announced Battlefield 5, is that right?
I think there's a rumor. I
It-
don't know.
There's.
come on.
I'm pretty sure they've already released a theme tune, which is now literally just like it's just sort of.
Complete
It's
status.
just like is this a high pitch or a low pitch
Ah.
squealing sound?
um,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a series that's really gone downhill, at least for me.
I like Battlefield 3. I played it quite a bit.
yeah.
But,
Christmas.
that's probably
Christmas
because I didn't play
2016.
Battlefield 2 that much. So.
Well, it just
Oh,
bothered
okay.
me that they made the maps so small, and they really love to cluster flags now. Because everyone told me not to worry. I got Bad Company 2 for the PC, and I was like, man, these maps are really cramped. Like, all the flags are really close together. And everyone's like, Bad Company 2, that's a spin-off. It's not an actual Battlefield game. Don't worry about it. When Battlefield 3 comes out, it'll be fine. Even the devs came out and said, like, have some bloody faith in us. Where, if we wanted to make Call of Duty, we'd make Call of Duty, not Battlefield. And then when the game came out, it was a completely different story.
Operation Metro is not Battlefield, is it?
Yeah.
That
And it's funny because they always bring up the word telemetry or something, or just like another word for statistics, and they're like, "Oh,
Telemetry? Is that even a word?
Operation
or
Met."
something
I'm
made up?
not exactly sure, but their reasoning for making more maps like Operation Metro was that because Operation Metro was the most popular map in Battlefield 3, we decided to kind of focus our map design around what made Operation Metro so great. But I don't think people played Operation Metro because it was a good map. I think most people played it because it was easy to
They
level
went-
up on that map.
Yeah, they farmed it.
it's
Yeah.
just good to get kills. Yeah.
If I can spawn and run 1 second and find someone, that's my favorite map all of a sudden.
And getting revives.
Well, not my favorite map,
Get
but
heaps of points with that as well.
Yeah.
yeah, but that
Grenade
pisses me off.
launchers. That was a great map for grenade launchers because you could kill like the entire team with one grenade.
That's hilarious because in Battlefield 2, I don't think grenade launchers were ever really that good. Everything was just so spread out. It felt nonsensical to have a grenade launcher unless it was a map like Karkin where it was really an infantry map and it would be somewhat useful. I remember the days when they gave you 5 grenades and you could just spam them all in the same place. They should have fixed that.
Yeah, do you guys just want to go into the non-payday rambling in those two topics?
I think we already have.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we haven't covered in Payday? It's on sale right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a new influx of new players. Hopefully they enjoy the game and aren't too peeved about the weird free DLC that costs money.
Yeah, alright, let's go into that and then we'll read some Steam reviews after we go through these two topics.
Yes,
Okay.
give the community some time to shine.
Yeah. Oh,
The wonderful Steam community.
oh god. So, first topic is the Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes PC port. How is that?
It's a really good port.
Yes,
It's
I
really
actually
good.
agree. It's a
It's
very
actually-
good port.
Well, it's a good port apart from one omission, which is it's really odd why they didn't do this, but there's no mouse support in the menus,
Ugh.
which
So
is
that's
really
not just
odd.
a glitch, huh?
No, there's no mouse support. It's really strange. Like the whole port, like it's got lots of graphical options. It's well optimized. It looks good, but then in the menus you can't use the mouse to navigate. It's really
Well,
you have
what
to use
I-
the arrow keys or WASD. It's really bizarre.
Yeah, what I've noticed is that, like, maybe you go into the escape menu, you can still see your mouse cursor, which is the weirdest thing, and you
Yeah,
click
and you
on
can
an
use-
option, but it
Yeah, you
it
can use left
chooses
click
the first
to
option.
select something. You use this left click as like there's like
It's
the
the yes/no
key.
button.
Yeah, it's really strange. I don't know why that is. Yeah,
Well,
But other than
I
that,
want to say that's a very good sign of it being a console port, to be fair, but I mean, it was, like you said, it's really well optimized. I mean, I don't have the
Yeah.
most powerful PC, but I run it on high, not extra high, and it looks great, and it runs at 60 FPS constantly. It's great.
yeah. I think I could almost run everything at max settings, but there are a few things which brought the frame rate down. So it's almost maxed out, but not quite. But yeah, I think I turned shadows down and maybe some of the effect quality, and then it ran smooth at 60, almost.
What is What is your rig like, by the way?
I've got a GTX 660 2GB. I've got a Intel i7 3770K. I think it's 3.5 gigahertz and 8 gig of RAM.
That's weird. I'm running everything on just high, and I have slightly lower system specs than you. I don't know why you can't run it all in high.
Well, no, sorry, I can run it. Well, no, because there's high and there's very high, isn't there?
Well,
I
I
can
think they
run-
call it extra high or something.
Extra high or very high or whatever. I can
Ultra.
run most things at very
Oh,
high,
ultra
but then
high,
some
that's the
things
one.
have down to high or ultra high. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you guys seen the graphic settings for Crisis 2?
have not.
I played Crisis 2, but I can't remember. Yeah, there's like
It starts at high. That's the lowest graphic setting.
Yeah.
It's high, and then it goes very high, extremely high,
Yeah.
ultra, and it's like maximum.
yeah. I
It
remember
sounds like
that.
they're just making. It sounds
They
like
are-
they're just making excuses at that point. You can only run it
Yeah.
on high.
Yeah.
There's no medium anymore. There's no small
Yeah.
either.
Although it does actually look pretty good at the lower settings.
Yeah.
When I could run
Well,
it,
it's-
which I can't.
Can't you? No.
No.
So,
Well, it makes you feel good. I have to say that. Oh, I can run the game on high. Is that
Yeah.
low? No, it's on high.
Ish.
the lowest settings is high. Sorry, say that again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I also worked out how I could get Far Cry 3 running at 60 FPS, so that's pretty good.
You turn down the resolution,
Oh, yeah.
as I suggested,
Oh, yeah.
right?
It runs pretty smoothly. There's a bit of stuttering happening, where it drops down like below 30, but
I think that might just be because it's Far Cry 3 and it does that. Some games are just
yeah,
just
apparently
stutter
Far Cry
because
4
they-
was really bad at that as well.
Yeah. Far Cry 4 is really like, yeah, it just stutters everywhere. It runs at a constant 60 or whatever, and then it just sort of chugs for no reason. You don't even have to be looking at like, I don't know, a lot of foliage. It just does it whenever it wants. It just chokes and chugs for no reason.
They're using kind of an old engine. I mean, they made the new Dunia engine for Far Cry 2, and they've been continually upgrading on that. Honestly, I've been speaking with Lockie, and I was telling him that I don't really like the new Far Cry games. I didn't really like 3. The main character that you play as was just endlessly annoying. And Far Cry 4, I just have this tendency to play the game and get bored of it and uninstall it, and then kind of think about wanting to play it again, and installing it and finding it really disappointing again. And the loop continues.
The new Far Cry's are just basically Assassin's Creed, but in first person with guns.
Honestly, they're so stale now. It's all about civil war. I mean, do you guys remember Far Cry 1?
Nope.
Like, there were monsters in there.
like...
There's sci-fi monsters in the game.
Yeah, like... And
I can't believe how they could move that.
Yeah, and you had, like, these sort of weird, like, powers. Or was that like one of the expansions?
Really
you had, like, sort of
That's one of the expansions. I think they had, like, instincts or, like, Far Cry Predator, where Jack
Predator
Carver turned into a monster or something.
Yeah,
but I just can't believe how they could stray so far.
Yeah,
I know.
Apparently the original Crysis is like Far Cry, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, the original Crysis, you're like...
The first Far Cry.
Yeah, and well, it's also similar in terms of like the story, because it's like, okay, it's fairly sort of, you know, run the mill now. It's like you are a man, you are shooting other men who have guns, and then suddenly there are aliens. Like that was what Crysis was. It was like, yeah, it was, oh, Korea are doing naughty things, go and shoot them, and then like you find this giant cave and these aliens fly out, and then the Koreans are gone and it's just aliens. And
it's a good twist, I have to say. I applaud them for sticking to their guns with their storylines.
Yeah, it's really strange. And then the second one, it was just, oh, it's just aliens now. Yeah, the aliens.
Well, just imagine like the biggest Far Cry fan.
The aliens
like
which
like
flew around everywhere in the first one now walk everywhere, which I thought was a bit odd. But yeah,
I just like someone who first gets introduced to like Far Cry with Far Cry 3 or 4, and then it's like, oh, you like those games? Well, why don't you go ahead and play Far Cry 1? You can see how the series got started. It's great. And then they're just going to be like, what the hell is this?
That would be me if I played that, yeah.
I'm sorry for spoiling that.
Yeah, well.
So, are we going to move into Just Cause 3? Have you guys seen any of
The screenshots that they released?
Has that been announced? I had no idea.
Yes,
I can't.
it has.
I never really liked the second one, so I can't really say I've been paying attention.
Really?
I've never played
Why
the
didn't you
second
like
one. Never played any of them.
It's good.
I think I remember getting the first one like free once because it was on. They like did a sale where they accidentally. I can't remember if it was free or it was like 1p. I think I bought that.
Yeah, it was a sale. Just Cause 2 was like $2 or something.
It's usually about $3, like on every sale, and that was how I got my Steam account.
Ooh.
I also had a Uplay account before I had a Steam account.
That's a travesty.
I know. That's like the first gaming thing.
Well, did you guys play Just Cause 1? I remember it being notorious for just having like a constipated character running animation.
Yeah, his
I just thought the gameplay was really stilted. I mean, it's been a while since I played it, but just the shooting mechanics weren't tight enough.
1 or 2.
And I think I just gave up on it. The first one. But the second one, I play quite often every now and then. It's very self-aware in terms of its humor, and it's just really fun. They managed to get the grappling hook and the parachute
I think the voice acting is
mechanics together.
a bit too irritating sometimes. Like there's
it's that Singaporean and everyone ends their sentences with la.
and and
Rico la.
And when you get given missions, the camera angle is deliberately placed so you can't see their face, so they have to animate their faces.
Wow, that's seems
you
like
really can
Really.
skip those cutscenes and you'd be just better off for it.
Yeah. But like there's the American guy who goes, we're gonna have ourselves a barbecue.
barbecue.
He pronounces it so strange. Yeah.
What does he say when he comes down in that little chopper? Hey, hombre. It's like the most irritating way to say it.
And that was the big plot twist was...
Yeah, that he was Shadow Demon.
And then he just changes all his lines after that.
There are quite a few mods for Just Cause 2, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Like there's that Superman mod, probably the best representation of Superman, just fly around and kill people.
It also
not
Multiplayer mode. Well, that's a standalone now, isn't it?
yeah, it is. They actually
yeah.
officially supported it, which was kind of interesting. It's a thing on Steam,
Yeah.
and it treats itself like an expansion to the game.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat idea.
Yeah, but it's also quite empty.
Is it? Oh, really? I would have thought it would have been... I suppose probably when it first came out it was quite popular,
Yeah.
wasn't it? But then...
Also, it had a boost key for all of your cars and stuff. So you would go flying at 500 kilometers an hour into the distance.
Yeah,
But
you could take like any vehicle like up into the sky,
a boat.
just based on how fast
A
it
boat.
goes.
You could just drive a boat on land.
Enemy boat spotted.
Yeah, it's... I don't know, 3 looks... A wingsuit.
It looks like more of the same.
Wingsuit. Yeah. New map. Might be kind of good.
You know, I think that Just Cause 2, like, I know Rico's not wearing a wingsuit, but he sure acts like he is. I mean, if you jumped off a mountain, like, you would think you would go straight down. But no, you zoom forward.
Well, I don't know, it's... the way he holds himself, it's kind of like a wingsuit, because he's like in that sort of
Yeah, I think so.
position. Also,
Well,
I
the
got...
parachute's sufficient.
I got Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator 10, is that right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the one where they, like that, I thought that was the controversial one, where they said, oh, based on like the 9/11 attacks, we're going to have to tone down the realism of Flight Simulator 10 when we release it, because we don't want people learning how to fly a plane.
Really?
Truly, because I thought that's what the whole point of the
flight
simulator
simulator.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like I can feel like I'm flying a plane.
Basically, if you...
That's like,
All the buttons to play with.
that's like saying, oh, we shouldn't train new pilots for commercial airlines anymore because they might do 9/11. That's kind of...
Well, this is a game.
weird,
It's a
isn't it?
little more like you can hide your face while you're playing it. But I could have sworn that they had,
That's what...
you know, a penchant for making them as realistic as possible. Like the cockpit, the control panels on there would be like
I
photorealistic.
know, but there's like
but
80
I think on that
switches
one.
and stuff everywhere. And I've got
Well, I'm sure they're not accurate to the real thing.
Oh,
Sorry, bud.
Yeah, I've got no idea what to do in that game. So, that was regrettable.
How much was it, by the way?
$5?
Man, you got ripped off.
Well, yeah.
At least, well, is there games for Windows Live
No.
attached to it? Like, okay, well, I guess
and
it's
it
not
has
as big of...
Steam multiplayer.
Well, at least you got more than just like one character and a gun. So
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
not, you know, it's not a
And a
complete
20
waste.
gig download.
20?
Yeah, you have to
gig?
make use of your bandwidth.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost the
Lucky
end
you
of the
did.
download month anyway.
Well, all I'm looking forward to is really just GTA 5. I hate
Oh,
how,
God, can't wait.
you know, Steam has an entry for it, and I think back then they also
Nice.
did like a top 100 games, like games of the year or something, and they had GTA 5 in the list, and you could buy every other game except for that. It's just relentlessly
I know,
depressing, but they're releasing it early 2015,
January 27th.
so soon, very soon.
January 27th.
It's
Seems
pretty
like
much
with
the-
all the
I thought-
hype, I'm gonna have to
I
check
thought
it
you
out
just said
myself.
January 2017 for a minute there. I got really confused.
Who knows, it might be.
Yeah.
Well, they say they've almost finished it, and that system requirements shall be released soon. So I'm gonna try and...
next week, is that right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and build a PC around it and see what happens.
Oh, here's hoping that it's just like really well optimized. I mean, they did a really good job with Metal Gear Solid. I know it's not the same engine or the same developers or
Well,
anything,
Max
but
Payne 3 has...
it shows that you can have a really good looking game.
Max Payne 3 has the, I think a few of the devs from that came into 5. I don't know.
I'm guessing so. They got some Canadians and brought them over to optimize the game. Or
Damn
I guess
right.
they could just stay where they are.
Are Canadians really, really good at optimizing games then? Is it, if you want your game optimized, you go to a Canadian?
Pretty much,
That-
yeah.
They're the only ones who know how to make games run. No, there we are.
No, we have legions of beavers that do it for us. we're just the handlers.
Yes, they just chew up trees and wait for them to like smack down on the software to optimize them.
Exactly.
Huh?
And they...
That's how video game development works now, I know.
And they build dams to stop all the memory leaks.
Exactly.
Oh.
Like, what do you think Rockstar really is doing? Like at this final stage, they have about a month left if they're going to stick to the 27th.
Laughing. I think they're laughing.
They're just counting their money.
PC gamers,
Yeah.
such suckers.
Well, they're probably laughing at all.
Bathing in their money.
Scrooge McDuck style, yeah. I know, they had...
Laughing at
Yeah.
petitions to get game taken off shelves.
Oh, there was this a petition to not release it on PC.
Where?
Yeah, it
By
was a
who?
joke petition though.
Yeah, but it was...
Oh,
Like, show PC gamers that they don't deserve
no, because...
GTA 5 because they steal a lot.
Because they pirate a lot.
They pirate.
isn't that what like developers back in 2006 used to say?
And
Yeah, that's why we're not bringing our game over, because it would be too easy to steal. And then, like, right behind them is some dude with a soft modded console
Yeah.
playing their game for free.
Yeah, pretty much. That's...
Huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's well, it's slightly more difficult to soft mod a console, I'm assuming, but I mean, it's not out of
harder
the
to
question.
do a PS3 than a 360, because a PS3 you have to get the firmware downgraded.
Oh, you speak from experience, I see.
No, I haven't actually done it. I don't even own a PS3.
Oh, don't you?
I did, but it...
A likely story.
No, it bricked itself.
You used to own it, but then someone pirated it from you.
Exactly.
You pirated your PS3. It stole it from
No,
you through the
I
internet.
got the...
Maybe it was the same guy who took your mic quality.
I never had
Yeah.
that. I never...
Oh, you never had it.
Yeah, I
that's
can't
why
hear
you're
you
trying
quite
to
as
steal
clearly now.
ours.
What's going on?
No, it bricked itself.
Well, while on the
Oh,
topic of GTA 5, I mean, that was also one of the games that, you know, has a large focus around heists. And I remember back
Is it
when
large
before GTA 5 came out.
Also, random civilian murder. There's a lot of similarities.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I'm just wondering, why can't we carry more than 6 cable ties with this?
Well, why can't we carry more than one key card?
They're very, very large cable ties.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pockets in our suits, they're fake.
Ah.
We got cheap suits.
It's like
Oh,
it's like
it's just-
a rope. Like each cable tie is like as big as a coil of rope.
We get all the room in like of the pockets of our suits are taken up by our huge like 50 caliber sniper rifles,
Yeah.
big poles, and like masks.
No, we
like,
keep-
and you know plague doctor masks which have flies you know sort of around them and all that. Our pockets are filled up already. We can't fit any more cable ties in there. That's why. That's canon.
Well,
That's-
no, but we store the sniper rifle and our guns in our pants, right?
No,
Like
no,
the sniper
yeah,
rifle,
no, they have bags.
you walk around, the guards
What's wrong
just
with
think
you?
you're in casing mode. You walk around with the sniper rifle sticking out of your pants, and the guards just think you're really
That's-
well hung. You're just
the
kind of
guns are stored inside your stomach because if you clip through one of the characters like the AI bots, you can actually see the guns are inside their stomach.
oh
Really?
Yeah.
So we
they
actually
just
we eat the
pull them out
guns,
of our
and when we
asses
mask
when
up,
they're ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
when we mask up, we're either regurgitating the guns or pulling them out of our asses after swallowing them.
Yeah,
Beforehand.
you put on your sunglasses and puke up some guns and then rob a bank.
Well, I mean that's one way to avoid a pat down.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, unless they, I don't know, they pat your stomach like, what is that?
Why is it so pointy?
It's
Yeah.
definitely a tumor.
Why is it so pointy? Yeah.
That's not my stomach. Yeah.
That's why you need to do it really suggestively when you tell the truth. So they think you're joking. You'd be like, "That's my sniper rifle," and they're like, "Oh, well, you know, okay."
Well, yeah, GTA 5 does have a big focus around heists, but I don't really recall if there's a way to, stealth a heist in the sense that we do it in Payday 2, where you're, sneaking around in broad daylight, avoiding people. In GTA
I'm not
5, in
sure.
the single-player missions,
Yeah,
you
wearing, like,
wear
the full-
disguises and stuff, right?
Yeah,
But
you should
obviously
wear
they can't do that in
disguise
multiplayer.
Whereas in Payday,
Infinite
you just...
casing mode.
Yeah.
But I mean, before GTA 5 came out, everyone was very worried about there being another heist game that would be a good competitor to Payday 2. But when it was released,
It's a whole-
it
it's a
had
whole
some
different
very,
thing.
very scripted missions. It is very different. But I mean,
When
the
it
big
was released,
piece of
people were
news
like,
this week... Go ahead.
Me?
What? No, that was it.
Oh,
Go ahead.
well, Thank you for your opinion. The big piece of news was that Rockstar had to kind of restructure all the heist missions that they were originally making for the multiplayer portion of GTA 5. I think originally they were supposed to have about 16 players in a heist, which makes it seem like you could just like pick up and carry an armored car away, like with 16 people. But they reduced it down to 4, which would make for a much more cohesive co-op experience, and everyone will have a different role. Like there's got to be an escape driver. One guy is the demolition man. I'm not exactly sure what the other 2 guys would do. Maybe one of them would use the thermal drill or just a handheld drill to do things.
Well, I'm sure that would reduce the. I'm sure that would reduce the payload to maybe a motorcycle. 4 guys could probably lift a motorcycle. I don't think an armored car. But,
well, you need 4 guys to lift a motorcycle?
Oh, I mean,
I think 2 would be sufficient.
Big motorcycle. Like,
yeah, but what's something bigger that I
maybe
guess they could
someone
go
sitting
after
on.
that would require more than 4 people, or less,
a limo?
or 4?
maybe someone sitting.
If you can't lift an armored car with 4 people, no way in hell you can lift a limo with 4 people. No way.
Well,
Armor's heavy.
I don't know. An armoured car is heavy not just because it's
big.
but also because it's armoured. That's what makes it heavy. I mean, limos are just long. They don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
2
obviously they're heavy.
2
but
people.
imagine,
Hey, you just pick it up like a wheelbarrow. Just pick it up via the back of the neutral and just push it to your
you
safe
have
house.
to be very tall to do that, though. To actually get enough elevation from it. Yeah.
But I am looking forward to GTA 5, and so is Lockie.
Yeah.
But it is a very different game, as we agree, from Payday 2. It's not quite as in-depth. Everything's very scripted.
Yeah, I've been holding out on the online because I don't want to give Microsoft any money for Xbox Live.
Ah, console players.
Yeah, it's bad.
I paid for the internet, and I also pay to play online, pay to play online.
Plus, Wi-Fi is not included in the console, so you have to find some way of getting it.
Oh, I think they include it now, like with the new
with like the
Xbox model.
the E version or something. But I have like the
Console peasants.
I know.
Can't connect to the internet. Jesus.
It's way more cinematic.
Yeah, 24 FPS, better than 60 because it's more cinematic. Also, we're going to put massive black bars at the top and bottom.
That's basically my PC gaming experience so far.
Yeah, you told me you were getting motion sickness from playing
I
at
was.
proper frames per
It
second.
was like 50 frames per second, and I was feeling sick from that.
Oh. Like
that's a shame.
we spoke about before, you need to, like a blind man, you need to open his eyes
No, what?
very slowly as his vision returns.
I think I need to.
And at the same time, open his wallet.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and maybe
We're going to
mug him
convert
a
it to
little bit.
PC gaming. You have to open both.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like this
Oh.
close to being able to get a new computer.
Well, what's going to happen when you strap on the Oculus Rift, like when that finally becomes popular? You thought
Well, if it
motion
ever
sickness
becomes
was bad now.
Well, I think it's just because I've played like 180 hours of Payday in 24 FPS, and now I'm playing it at 60.
Have any of you actually used the Oculus?
I
wanted to go to
am
PAX
sad that I
use it,
have
but
not.
Yeah, I didn't.
I have, and it's rubbish.
Really?
Oh,
So that's-
really?
Which
Yeah.
which
Well,
one
what
was that?
version did
Yeah.
you use?
I don't know. It was because I went to I can't remember what it's called, but it was like it was kind of like a jobs fair or something. They had like a bunch of like courses and companies there to basically go, "Oi, come and do something with us if you want." And one of them, I can't remember what it was for, but basically you do like their sort of their job quiz thing. It was something to do with like social media or something. And then after you've done that, they go, "Oh, good boy, you can go play on the Oculus Rift now," which they had there for no real reason. And it was basically like it was like a roller coaster simulation. And yeah, it was in the Oculus Rift, and it was just kind of a bit shit, really.
Well,
It
what
just-
was so rubbish about it exactly? What did you notice?
It just, I mean, maybe it's probably just because it's not the final build, but the actual visual quality was really quite poor.
So was it like the
Well,
DK1 or the DK2 or what?
Well, I think
I don't
the
know, 'cause
biggest
they
differentiating
Is
factor
the resolution?
is that the first version had a really low resolution, so they coined the term the screen door effect, that you could actually see the pixels. So that would take you out of the experience. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, it might be used DK1 then. So I don't know, because they just sort of went, here's an Oculus Rift, put it on, okay, you're done now, and then they just sort of pushed you off. I didn't actually know what one it was.
Yeah,
So,
I think
yeah,
your
maybe-
demeanor sort of kind of ruined your perception of the device.
Maybe. But it felt, I don't know, it just...
I think the thing that would bother me about the Oculus Rift is that I keep hearing that it doesn't actually cover all of your peripheral vision.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the use it didn't.
I mean, that would be the biggest problem for me. I mean,
That would be
the
It's like
biggest
most of it.
thing.
It was like wearing a pair of snorkel goggles. You could see like the frames, like the frames of the headset, the goggles, what you want to call them, around your eyes, and it looked a bit. Yeah, it felt like you were wearing a pair of goggles on your head, and there was just a screen in it. That was what it felt like.
I feel like that really take me out of the experience because, well, unless your character in game is wearing a very obtrusive pair of goggles.
Yeah, true. It's perfect for Payday then, because you wear a mask. I'm sure they see the rims of their mask around their eyes when they wear it. Just pretend you are one of them. There we are.
Overkill should jump on this.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm still excited for it. It seems like the most promising technology to come out to really improve your gaming experience.
Imagine being cloaked while wearing an Oculus. Because you know the way the cloak is like...
Oh,
spin
hell
you
no.
And you're wearing...
I think that would
the
give you motion
goggles,
sickness.
spin around, and then they kick you, and then you just fall sideways. I was just... I'd probably fall over in real life.
Right.
Fall over in real life, yell at your friend, okay, quick, come get me up.
Yeah. But then,
Oh,
and then
wait.
he's- as well, and he's just sitting at his desk, and he's just waving his hand. He's just like gesturing upwards, yelling at you to get the fuck up.
Well, I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, they should add... There we are, that'd be a reason to have a Kinect
Taking
Xbox.
Overkill, taking immersion to the next level.
It senses your hand movements, and when you wave your hand upwards, you can revive friends. There we are.
Okay, are we ready to
Alright.
move on?
And no other games to talk about? All right, let's go
Save
ahead.
that for next week.
So what do we have next, Lockie?
Just some community and subreddit stuff. Just this image I saw. And it's called Clover Before and After Meth.
Ah.
It's the one with the Megan Fox picture.
But basically, the before picture is Megan Fox's face photoshopped onto Clover, and the after picture is just ordinary Clover, and it says meth not even once, which is this PSA series. That is
I think this strikes you guys particularly hard because you had to sit through a lot of these
oh yeah.
public service announcements.
I had to sit through probably like 15 or 20 in like rapid succession, and they just started losing all meaning after like the third one. It goes,
It's like, man, I should try meth.
no.
I didn't even know about it before, but they told me about all about
No,
it.
this the ad goes, I wish I had have rolled my car and broken my neck. I wish I had died on the way to that party, but instead I went there and I did ice. and I just can't stop doing it, and it's got him just like in this shabby room doing meth. And then it's that over and over again. Just slightly
Well,
different.
it's a good way to get yourself on TV, I suppose.
Yeah, do that.
Do meth. Yeah, who was it who looked up how to cook meth last week?
Me?
Yeah.
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 I can see why Bane always has trouble. I can find like a good sort of an actual
Well,
good
did you-
guide.
Well, did you check the crime.net wiki?
You need some HCL.
CrimeNet is actually a website. It's actually like a website
Yeah,
about...
it's a crime watch website.
Yeah, it's a Crime
legitimate.
Watch website. Yeah, and it's really weird. Like I can't remember the logo for it. It's really weird. Hang on.
Oh,
I'll look it up.
actually, do you mean a crime cast? Because that's what our podcast name is, and there is actually a crime cast, and it's like some sort of neighborhood watch
Yeah.
system, and you'd have to pay them money to like keep an eye on your neighborhood.
However,
and
if
it would
you-
mark down each instance of crime.
But if you do Google Payday Podcast,
just-
you get something a bit different.
Why did
I
you have
just
to bring that up?
I just went to Crime
We're not linking that.
Development, so that's kind of spooky. Maybe Glance's man is going to be on the front page. Maybe that's a secret.
I just
Maybe it's
Googled
Crime
that.
Watch thing's
All right.
own was owned by Overkill the whole time. This is one big ruse.
Why didn't you warn me to Google this? Why?
Not to Google what?
Payday podcast.
You know the best kind of podcast is one where you solicit people for money immediately.
Like
in the first minutes of your video,
send us
like
a
asking
minimum
them
of $5.
if they want to be on the video. Just send us $20.
Minimum.
I feel like
Speaking of
I still
which,
haven't watched that yet. I don't know what it's.
speaking of which, for those of you listening, if you like the podcast and you'd like to come on and talk with us,
Shut up, Remy. Shut up, Remy. Shut up.
Okay. So next,
But I like Steam cards too. That's I can't say I would say no.
it's like that picture Liam had of that guy who asked him for the game. You know, the guy who asked you for Darkness 2. Who added you?
Well, that was ages ago. When?
I know, because you're always posting on Reddit. I was like, what have you done?
Wait, did I post that?
Yeah.
Did I post that on Reddit?
Yeah, apparently. I don't know, I just...
Oh yeah, I posted that on like I can't remember where I posted. Yeah, that was ages ago.
'Cause, like,
all right.
Because
I was gonna say, yeah, I remember doing that, but that was like a year ago. How the hell did you?
Cause I was like going through the subreddit and I just keep seeing you everywhere.
Yeah, I spent way too much time on there.
And on like
Yeah.
Payday Circle Jerk and all that.
Yeah, I started posting on there now. Yeah, I'm fully I don't know, engrossed in it now.
Yeah,
I've
so-
I almost feel like we should, put our podcast on there. Circle Jerk.
Yeah,
That's a great subtitle. Crimecast
I think-
Circle Jerk.
I think the only three things in my Reddit, like the little bit at the top where it's got all your subreddits, the only three that listed there are Payday the Heist, Steam, and Payday Circle Jerk.
Great.
That's all that's listed there. I'm gonna go on there now. What's the recently posted thing? I don't know.
Have you guys been on r/console gaming master race?
No.
Sure, that's run by PC
No.
Master
it
Race
is.
people.
It's satire, but it's just it's like 102
Speaking
fans
from-
of gay Ben. GAYBEN.
Why is this is like so blurry? What's going on here? I'm on Console Master Race right now. Everything's okay. I get it. Never mind.
A console. Hang on, I will.
They actually put this subreddit is satirical. Any posts bashing the subreddit or any of its users, or if you submit a post that does not contain satirical praise of consoles, the post will be removed.
I'm just gonna read one of these, which is GTA 5 PC specs release. Trust me, I am PC fag from Rockstar. Okay.
And it has 40 upvotes.
Today we released the specs for GTA V in PC. Since we PC fags are stupid and suck and hack and torrent games, we were left in the end. I am a PC fag at Rockstar Games, and I am proud to announce the specs for GTA V. To play in low setting, i7 420 buys it, which is $420,000. The GPU is an AMD Radeon R6 969 or NVIDIA GTX 1337 Ti. They're $100,000 each. The hard drive is at least 10,000 gig. Medium settings is the i7 420 no-scoped edition. The hard drive is some huge amount of number. I don't even know, it's got like 20 digits.
Why don't you talk about the CPU that you have to play it on high settings?
Oh god. Okay. i7 420 6969 Fuck You Mom edition PC figs is stupid, and it's 293. How big is that number?
I'd say it's in the
Trillions?
trillions.
Trillions, yeah.
That seems reasonable. I like this subreddit. I will put it on my favorites.
This proves that PCs are stupid. By the way, the game will run at 100p and 20 FPS because eyes can't see over 100p and 20 FPS.
Huh.
Well, that certainly fit the requirements for the the subreddit posts.
That's awful.
Man, my eyes are actually hurting because like all the text is blurry on the page.
Oh, it's so bad. Okay, I'm now going to read out some Steam reviews.
Are we gonna tell the listeners who wrote them?
I just copied and pasted them in. I could go and find them. Actually, do you guys?
I don't know if we should really.
I don't think we should.
Yeah. All right.
Protecting the guilty and all that.
Okay. So, do you guys want to start reading it?
No.
Oh, God.
You know, I'm reading it in my head, and I don't want to say it out loud.
Yeah. Fair enough. How about we just skip that?
Well, why don't we just pick one,
Alright.
and that would probably just
Kind of
give an example for what else there is.
I think 2 of them, 1 for each.
Well, why didn't you go ahead?
So, for the Clover one, it is I bought her and put my Alamir's bear on her face. And now, ... No, that's 4 dots actually. I become Beard Lady, spelt with B-E-A-R.
I think we could do one more.
And
Here, go ahead.
this DLC of the game of Robber robs you for real. I would... Sorry.
Game of Robber. Best game. Best game is Robber of game.
I would do better if I buy a hamburger.
I don't know, it's kind of got me a little hungry. I mean, I kind of do want a hamburger now.
I would do better if I buy
You
a
would do
hamburger.
better if I buy a hamburger. I think I like
Do
the next
better at
one.
what?
This one,
Do better at what though? I would do better if I bought
Sorry.
that.
I suppose.
At what?
Oh, okay. Maybe he
Do
meant
better
like
at
if I bought a hamburger, I would.
Do better
Would be
at
robbed
Robber of
less.
game of Robber. I will be bestest at game Robber of if I eat hamburger. I think that's what he was trying to
This
say.
DLC of the game of Robber.
Elastic Man DLC confirmed.
Rubber.
Well, that's enough Steam reviews. I'm not even sure why we had that section.
Because I want to point out how stupid Steam reviews are. Because there's the sensible
I
ones,
just don't-
there's like 10 sensible ones, and there's like 90.
I thought we were better than that. Like, I don't think there's any curating system for the actual reviews. Anyone can just put whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to do anything about that. I think that's one of the flaws of the system, is that every time there's a top review, it's a joke review.
It's like 11 out of 10 would bang.
Yeah.
Crap.
On the Clover DLC.
That's
Yeah.
actually a thing, I think. I think it's 9/11 would bang. Because, you know.
Would step on my own balls for the DLC.
Yeah.
11 out of 10.
That's... yeah. Okay, so... we have gone over the amount of time that I said. By slightly.
Well, Jesus, man.
I
We're just full of content.
Yeah. Hopefully the recording actually comes out okay. Should do.
Yes. Just like last time. Our
Yeah.
objective is to beat how it was last
Yes.
time.
So, we are on Twitter. So, we might announce stuff on there.
What is our Twitter, by the way?
It's Payday Crimecast. With all caps for Payday in the space.
No spaces, no underscores?
No, don't think so.
Well, I should check that out then.
Yeah. And it'll be... and chances are you're probably watching us on the YouTube channel. So, there's that. And next week, I believe Ed won't be here.
No, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
I could probably bring my crappy mic around. It's not like I'm important anyways.
Yeah. No,
I know what you
I'm
agreed
like,
with
yeah,
that.
sure.
It's not like I'm important anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. no,
Yeah.
he's pretty important. Alright,
Oh, good.
Again with the modesty.
that's pretty good.
But yes,
Oh,
I suppose this is, the sign of coming to a close with our very first Payday
Yeah.
Crimecast episode.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have all of our listeners and perhaps even their friends and family gathered around for our holiday Crimecast next week.
Which,
or is it the next week? I
well,
don't even know what we're going to talk about.
next week, if Ed is here, we will do some kind of awards thing of the best stuff of this year.
Yes, it is the end of the year.
And
So we're thinking video games, right?
TV and movies, if anyone's seen any.
Oh, I better start watching something.
I have seen a
Oh.
TV. I went downstairs earlier on and I saw television.
Oh.
So it's that.
Wow. But if not, it'll be after New Year's at some point.
But yes,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll have all of our listeners listening whenever we have our next podcast. So I suppose we'll just say goodbye and
Yes.
jump in our van here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right.
All right, well, I suppose we should thank everyone. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
And hope to see you guys next
Thanks.
time.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.
It's over.
Bye.